Okay, so I'm gonna try this again, and if I pause or I don't know what to say, I'm sorry because sometimes I do that. It's the best I can do. Anyways, first of all, I don't have anything like against Jehovah's Witnesses because there's Jehovah's Witnesses in my family, so I don't. I mean, even if there wasn't, I mean, I have nothing against Jehovah God or Jesus or whoever you want to call him. Um, Christianity has a lot of different uh, forms of Christianity, and uh, growing up, I went to a born again uh, church churches, and then I tried going to a Catholic one. I sort of, uh, my family was pretty religious, or at least my mom was, and uh, and so I always kind of was okay. Yeah, this is cool. But then when I was around like 11 or 12 and things started happening with my own life, then that's when I started questioning it all and having my own sort of perspective and kind of was angry at God and sort of told everybody I was an atheist. But I'm not an atheist. Um, I would be lying if I said I wasn't an agnostic because I question things, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's one of the best things is to question because you're always sort of being curious and learning from what you question. And the things I question don't really have any answers, and that's sort of the fun part of the argument or the debate. Like, for example, one of the main things that if you're talking to somebody and if you want to have a good argument about religion and they say like, well, God always was, or and but at the same time they're like, how can they say to you, the world couldn't just always be? That's not. It just can't be. That doesn't make sense. God had to start the world. God had to start this earth. And then I say, well, you said the world couldn't always be, so how could God always be? Who created God? But he just always was. It's that simple to them. And guess that's where faith falls in, but they're kind of contradicting themselves, I think. Um, and the Bible, I don't like how people live their life by the Bible because they're living their life by one thing, by one book, on solely by one thing. And really, everybody sort of lives their life with those type of morals to be good to your neighbor and stuff like that. So the Bible is definitely positive, but it's also really violent and stuff, especially the First Testament. I think the Second Testament is kind of cooler because it's not a bunch of stories. Well, it is, but it's more it's people writing about what this supposed person said, and but I don't believe that you should live solely on one thing. Um, get other, read other books. Um, what else can I say? I mean, I don't know. The Catholic religion is fucked up, and no offense to anybody, but it is. The whole molesting thing. I mean, is beyond comprehension, and so I tried the Catholic thing out when I was younger because I thought, maybe this is more traditional. I might like it better, but it was the same shit, really. Um, and then I go to like NA and AA meetings, and it's like right away I was like, what is this? It's like very messed up, and I didn't like that because so I went to this other meeting that isn't about God or the 12 steps, because they say higher power, but then, like they always end up saying God. Oh, it's okay, we're all family here. God. And I'm like, well, I'm new here, and I don't really feel comfortable with that, or I don't feel comfortable with the circle, getting around in the circle. I don't. Um, I think for me, God is very personal. He's always been personal, and it's not something I want to talk to. I would never try to sell God to anybody. Like I think people try to use the Bible as an excuse and say, well, it was in the Bible. Like it was in the Bible, so it's okay. That it says we're supposed to preach this. So they sort of use that as their way of sort of telling everybody how they feel, because they have found something so amazing to them that they feel that everybody should have it. And that's hypocritical to me. Like, I feel like in the next time somebody, if like a certain religion comes to my door and tries to sell me something, I just, I don't know. I don't know. I would want to say something, not rude, but sort of like, I don't know. I mean, the one thing you could say if you want them to go away is that I know I'm that religion, so I don't need any magazines or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to say right now. Like, like the saints in the Catholic religion, like how you could become a saint and then you could pray to that person. That's kind of silly to me, because you're praying to a person who lived on this earth, who the Catholic religion said, okay, you could become a saint. I mean, if I have this correctly, which I think I do, I think my information is correct, that we're basically praying to a person who we don't really know that person. We just know what the Catholic religion says about them, and we're supposed to pray to them. I'm not praying to no person. Who knows what that person was, some crazy motherfucker. So the only person I want to pray to is God. You know, have a nice talk with God. Tell him I'm sorry for the crazy shit I did, and I'm trying to be a good person, and I think that's what everybody is trying to do, is trying to be a better person. Um, so yeah, that's all I have to say about that. No, that's not all I have to say about that. I have a lot more to say. I just can't get it out of my head, you know. Um, but I don't know. So I tried.